I had really been in my buying myself flowers era, and I am loving pink at the moment. So these are my old flowers, and then I added some new ones in between. So when these die, I have my new ones. So usually I keep them about a week and change the water at least once. And yeah, they remain so good. So I love it. They don't really smell, but they're so beautiful. And I don't know, it brings some joy and some feminine energy in my room. So I love it. I actually found in this health food shop some convo protein powder. So I have heard a lot of things about this and I really wanted to try it myself. I have noticed that I feel very like full and more alive when I'm eating more animal products. And I mean, it's not about taking too much beef and too much red meat and that kind of stuff, but like this is organic, this is grass-fed, grass-finished, it's free range, hormone and antibiotic free. So it should be actually a very good source of protein and natural collagen. And being honest with you guys, since I started eating more meats and more like bone broth and that kind of stuff, my skin, my hair, my nails, everything is growing. And yeah, I just feel way more alive. So I'm gonna give this a try tomorrow and I'll let you guys know if it's good and if I love it and if I'm seeing results.
Finished everything that I needed to do, so now I'm off to the beach. I'm gonna go for a short walk, write down some thoughts that my life coach has advised me to do. And I also gonna take my book. I'm reading The Alchemist from Paulo Coelho, which is a classic, but somehow hadn't read it because I'm not a big reader. I'm trying to get into it. If you guys have any good recommendations of books, I'm very interested. As you guys probably saw, and I don't want to hide anything and be very open and vulnerable, I was cutting off some medication. It was not supplement, it was my medication. So I am still on a very low dose of antidepressants. It's called Cypralexa, and I am actually reducing it by a lot. Since I arrived, actually, I've gone from a full dose to half, and obviously doing it very gradually. So now I am mostly half every day, which is a big success for me. And I actually had a few friends asking me about antidepressants, if I'm taking them. So obviously I'm open about it, so I said yes, and what my experience is with antidepressants. So I think it is important to talk about. There is also a content creator, her name is Elizabeth, and it is the Wellness Process podcast on Instagram. I'll tag it in the description. And she's also very open about taking medication, antidepressants, even she's pregnant now. And I truly believe that there is a bit of a misconception about antidepressants, that basically it changes your state forever and that you're gonna be addicted to it. And that's not at all my experience. Basically, for me, it has been a very, very positive experience. So, summarizing it, I was at a very, very low point maybe 1.5 years ago, and I had done all the things that you see online, so all the like meditation, journaling, changing diets, anti-inflammatory, and obviously therapy. And I still had the impression that I was drowning, literally, and that I would fall in these very negative spirals for days and days and days, and I really had the impression that I could never get out of that. And so my therapist back then, she advised me to go on a dose of antidepressants. And at first I was a bit suspicious, and I have heard kind of horror stories with medication. But there is a difference between antidepressants and anxiety medication, which is really not the same thing. It doesn't act on the same hormones and it doesn't have the same impact. And also there's so many antidepressants, so many different molecules that you really need to find the one that is suited for you. Antidepressants are gonna act on your mood for a longer period of time than an anxiety medication. So anxiety, say you're super anxious, you have a panic attack, you're gonna take an anxiety medication, it's gonna get that immediate relief. And then you can breathe again, you can like get back to yourself. So obviously if you have a lot of anxiety attacks that are disabling you, it can help you, but I don't think that it is a long-term solution. And I am not saying neither that antidepressants is a solution. For me, it is really a tool. But so that like wave of being super anxious and then being immediately calm with an anxiety medication is usually what makes people addicted. And that is not the case with antidepressants. So actually I was very frustrated because I had the impression that they were not working. So I had been taking them for like 3 weeks, nearly a month. And I remember telling my dad like, yeah, it's not gonna work for me. Like I'm just not matching the medication. Like this is not working. And he told me like, yeah, give it some time. Like it needs at least a month and a half in order to work properly and like to affect your hormones. And indeed, it's worked. And I would say that I got the full benefits of it after 3 months of taking them, and still do. But the thing is that I didn't rely only on my antidepressants. And again, I think I'm using it as another tool, or maybe I was using it as a crutch in order to do the work to regulate myself. I've gone back and forth of trying to reduce it, and it was not the right timing. It was during fashion week, so it was really not a very good idea to do that, but I wanted to try at least. I had a lot of emotions back then, so it was maybe not the appropriate timing, but still, like, I was able to reduce it a little bit. So then my doctor advised me to get back on a full dose and try again once I am settled somewhere for a long time, because this really helps calming the nervous system. So, which is what I'm doing in Sydney right now. Secondly, to go like very gradually. So I would do, in the beginning, I would do full, a half, full, a half, in order to decrease the hormones very slowly. And that is what has helped me. And so now I hopefully, and I'm not putting pressure on myself, I'll see how it goes, but I hopefully can stop my antidepressants in 6 months or so. Besides that, I have obviously done the work on myself and on aligning back to who I want to be, and on basically regulating my nervous system with lots of different things to work on. So it's not only one thing that is gonna magically heal you, as I mentioned already in previous videos. But yeah, so now I really wanted to focus on that antidepressant part. And if you guys have any other questions about medication or like antidepressants, obviously I am not a doctor, okay, so I can only speak for what works for me. So if you want to, I can put the name of the antidepressants in the description. Again, I'm not saying that it's gonna be the perfect match for you, like it's very individualized, but I've had a very good experience with mine. And I am not sure that it's actually available everywhere, because that's a Belgian one. And then talking about supplementation, it is a bit the same thing. So when I was like so low and at the midst of my depression, I was taking all these supplements. So I made a video, by the way, I think it's my second one, about which supplement I was taking, and back then I was already decreasing them. So there was a bunch of like ashwagandha, omega-3, vitamin D. I will put the video up here so like you guys can have a look at what I was taking. But I wanted to say I am not taking nearly as much as I was doing back then. So now the only things that I'm taking is magnesium glycinate, and I am also taking omega-3, trying to actually reduce that because I'm having like a lot of fish basically, so fish, algae, all these sources, so I don't really need it anymore. And I am taking some vitamin D, D3, so it's like a liquid form which is absorbable. So those would be the only supplements I'm taking at the moment, and I don't think that you need to go over the top with them because your body is basically working a lot in order to keep a certain balance. So if you're like throwing the sink at your body with all these different supplements, basically, well, firstly, if it's in a stressful state, it's not going to take any of the supplements inside, so it's not going to like retain anything. Secondly, you're not actually gonna know what is working, and the biggest differences are not gonna come from any supplements or whatever. That's just like the top of the pyramid, but really the bottom is your relationship to yourself and how you want to feel and how you see your dream life and putting boundaries and all these kind of things that I was talking about before. So I think it is important talking about these things, and maybe it's a bit controversial. I know there's lots of supplements out there, but you guys gotta keep in mind that it's also a business. So I'm not saying that all the supplements are just marketing, but there's a lot of that as well, and a lot of the time you don't need that many supplements. Your body is very smart, and you can find it in food, in nature, and in the sun. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I hope that you guys enjoyed my little vlog and chat. And if you guys obviously have any questions, constructive feedback, I'm always open to chat with you guys. And I am curious as well if you have maybe another opinion on antidepressants, if you've had a positive or negative experience, feel free to share it, and I'm always open to everything. So I see you guys in the next, and have a very wonderful day.